If your office hasn't already returned to regular operations, and by that I mean actually working from the office, the recent lifting of COVID safety protocols statewide probably had plans moving in that direction. Now some are rethinking their return to work plans because of the spiking cost of the gas it would take to get to and from there every day. Joining me now live to talk about the problems this new wrinkle may pose for businesses is Amanda Blackwood, President and CEO of the Sac Metro Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you, Amanda.
Good morning. So good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. We're about 12 days into the Russian invasion of a sovereign Ukraine, putting the squeeze on the world petroleum market. You have members who maybe delivery is their business, or they have a lot of product materials to move from one place to another. Have you heard owners talking about the price of fuel affecting operations yet, or fearing that it will?
Yes, I mean, you're right on track. Think about it like this. Anything that's got to be moved from any place to another place, right? Be it construction materials, small goods, food, from a farm to a local restaurant, all of that's got to be driven and transported. So any increase in gas prices results in a direct increase, in the bottom line of that good. And as folks are starting to come back, starting to feel normal, the thought of having to charge more for that hamburger or more for that home, is really not sitting well with anybody.
Any advice the chamber is doling out this early as this next national challenge to business sort of lands on the entire economy?
What we're really hearing in workforce overall is that this need for hybrid work, the demand for hybrid work, is really where the employee market is. So our best advice to those that are employing folks that may have been remote, you're trying to bring them back in, and gas prices are a concern, is really embrace that hybrid work lifestyle where you can. It's what your employees want. It's what is going to keep them engaged. And the more flexible you can be for those jobs that you can accommodate that, right? You can offset this spike in prices, but you can also meet your employees where they're at and keep them engaged as you move forward.
And that really is something that folks on both sides of the time clock have to think about. Now, 2 weeks ago in his State of Downtown address, Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg put the call out specifically to state employees to stop working from home and return to downtown, return to supporting businesses in the city's core in person. The unspoken message there, everybody come back downtown, state worker or not. In your estimation, how badly have businesses in the core been struggling without the normal traffic that really hasn't been there for 2 years?
Well, the lack of pedestrian traffic in the core, is very real and has widespread impacts. Obviously those businesses that are, the cafes, the spot that you grab lunch, while you're talking to your elected official, all of those really struggled, with the state offices closing, the restaurant community, retail community struggled. But, also when we talk about public safety and homelessness, you also have a downtown that for a large part was vacant. And so, folks have kind of posted up where they could find a spot, and that lack of foot traffic, nobody's really walking through or holding anyone accountable for what's happening there. So, that need to get people downtown, that need to get our vibrancy and our energy moving is real. But at the same time, we need employers, whether you're the state or a small business, to understand if employees are demanding hybrid work, and that's what it's going to take to attract and retain talent, we're going to have to be flexible with the way that we approach a comeback scenario.
I've heard that word from you a couple times now, flexibility, be flexible. It kind of seemed to a lot of people as they've been encouraged to go back to their offices that if the boss can't see you actually working, maybe you're not working. What are you saying aside from be flexible to the owners that may be part of the chamber in terms of flipping the script on how they look at the way their operations are supposed to run?
Well, what we know, is new data came out that said 30% of folks feel that they were more productive at home, which means 70%, felt that they didn't. At the same time, 100% of employees in a new AT&T survey said, I'm looking for remote options. So, with all that, what we're saying to employers is this is really a market in which employees have choice, and they could work for you or they could work nationally, but live here. So the more that you can engage in open dialogue with your staff on what tools do they need to be successful, how much time do we need to spend together forming bonds, forming, those real relationships that you can only do in person, but how much can be done remotely, and what does a hybrid schedule look like? The more that you can engage in that authentically, plan ahead of time, and put the infrastructure in place, the greater the chance that you have that you're going to get those folks working that full-time day, whether they're at home or in your office.
All righty, thank you so much. And if COVID didn't do it in terms of remaking the marketplace, perhaps what the White House has been calling the Putin pain at the pump will. We appreciate you.
Thank you.